Hey, it's good to be on here with you guys. It's good to be on here. Paul, I'm giving you a bit of a hard time. It's contracts are interesting, and I know, like, I watch the contract show, and I do love you guys, really, I do. I like the show. I like your dialogue, and I love the 98% brand. And I saw people saying, why doesn't Devon come on here and talk about this? Why? And I told myself I would, and I think that really I want to clarify maybe just my place, like so what I'm doing. Why did I sign?
Yeah.
Right, because it's difficult. Okay, I had a hard time signing with WAL. I had a hard time signing with them the second time. And believe me when I say I had a hard time signing with East versus West. But I'll tell you why I did it. And it was a few reasons. Okay. The first reason is I saw them as overall the greatest collection that had the best opportunity to showcase arm wrestling in the highest form. That was my first thing. I was like, okay, I want to be involved with them regardless. Right. The second thing I thought was, and look at, we talk about Eng and Terzi. Everybody knows that Eng and I hate each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Like, really, like, we fight about everything. But at the same time, I'll tell you, in my opinion, despite his flaws, there is no better one to be at the helm to make many decisions about arm wrestling. Many. And nobody's perfect. And he needs people to help him.
Yeah.
But when I look at the entire career of Eng and Terzi as an arm wrestler, as a guy who was on the Northeast board forever, the guy who fucking did the rankings, nobody's gone as far. So to have him at the helm, it's the right choice. And why I sign a contract is because I believe in unity. That's why, and I always said the best thing that anybody can do is get behind the leader. That's the best thing that anybody can do. And it's a tough trait to decide whether you think it's good or bad, but it's called agreeableness. And the more people can get behind the best idea going, the more your team is big and it's going to win. And I just believed in the whole thing, and that's why I signed. I believed in it. And I see people fighting and struggling about stuff on the outside, and I'd love to be everywhere. But I'll tell you, if I could only pick one place, I think I've made myself clear,
Yeah. Yeah, I think too, it's because also the level you're at. It makes sense for you specifically to be there.
Yeah. But what is the problem?
Do you have advice for, like, say, Knuckles Up?
Oh, dude, you guys are killing it.
Is there a better avenue for them to get guys on here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure there is. Okay. What you want, look at East versus West. The worst thing you can do is trying to just be a poor knockoff. We don't need any more knockoffs, right? Everything has to fit its demographic, capture a certain piece. North American up-and-coming talent, okay? North American up-and-coming talent. Great young arm wrestlers that are fit and beautiful and love the sport. That's who you focus on.
Yeah, we couldn't agree more, actually. And so, excitingly enough, Devon, I don't know if you heard, we actually just we officially have the exclusive rights to the Arnold Classic, so we're going to be running.
Awesome. See, that's great.
Yeah. So
that is great.
We're kind of creating a farm system, right? So we have Chris, 14 tournaments across the globe now. So we have 14 tournaments across the whole globe right now. I think 7 or 8 in the U.S. and then the rest of them are outside of the U.S. And then what's cool is anybody who wins on the right arm at the Arnold in their weight division, they're guaranteed a spot at Knuckles Up. And if you win on the left arm, you're also guaranteed a spot at Knuckles Up, as long as we can find you a match, obviously, because it's the left arm. So we really tried to, like you said, make that farm system for these up and first because we've been traveling a lot. We were just at the Sarah Backman Classic. Ryan's tournament tomorrow. And we're just trying to get around. And there are so many young guys and ladies that are just like, I get it. Everyone like wants to watch East versus West, but like you will understand more than anyone. The nitty gritty of the sport is in those little holes in the walls, and these dudes and women are like hungry, and they are getting mean and freaking strong.
Yeah, and look long, long.
Yeah,
find them young.
Yeah,
develop them. Yeah,
exactly. Like we have one of our very good friends actually, who you may have met when you came down for the seminar, Jason Merlo. Jay is like he is one of the superstars from our area.
Yeah,
he's so young. He's
getting good, huh?
Oh, he is like he's at that world level, but he's about to. I would say he's about to crack that like top 20 in the world level, like within the next 6 months.
That's very good.
He's making really big strides. He had a tough match against Mario Tambakis at the last card, and he has a really interesting one on this one against Ju Min Kyung from Korea. But yeah, like that's our goal is right. It's just like you said, is we're trying to just grow these younger athletes more and more and more, and create more opportunities, right? Like even for people like yourself, right? Like there's a seat, there's just a seat, waiting for you.
And look at and as far as the whole getting back to the central thing, like I don't think that.
Hey, wipe that smug look off your face, Yak. Looking all smug with that arm wrestling garbage behind you.
Nanya's in the house.
Nanya. I was wondering who that dude in the dark was.
And Yakimovich is on.
Hey, nice match you guys had, by the way, you and Paul. That was a freaking good. Devin. I like that one.
Hey, what'd you think of my new move there?
What, the fucking crazy press? What is it?
I was impressed.
You mean the show up late move?
I was supinating them in and holding them. Before I would just kind of go for the press all in. But,
I loved it, buddy. I loved it. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Devin, what did you think, Devin, about Winter Blast being the biggest tournament in the country?
What were the numbers?
585 entries.
That's really good. That's the biggest.
One day, not like a 2-day thing. So.
1 day. That's really good.
Yeah.
It was a while.
Yeah. We've been having big events up here too. You guys want to know a crazy one? Is the Ottawa Open.
Yeah, you guys. I mean, the stuff in Canada. Well, Canada's more unified too. Like the United States, we're like fighting each other for some reason.
Yeah, that's all got to stop.
It's got to stop.
That's got to stop. Seriously,
we're actually working on trying to unify all the promoters in the United States now.
No, I don't understand. Like, look, I'm not involved in Canadian politics either. Like, I'm not involved in the CAWF at all.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, if I was, I'd be like, fuck it. Like, yes, they're all corrupt. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Let's go back to WAF because at least that way there's one, and it's with the ones that are actually getting paid. Why would we switch to IFA? Why would we do that?
I think they can all coexist.
Sure, they can, but the thing is, you can coexist, but why wouldn't you just all be under the same banner?
That's what we're
not everybody
trying to do.
Wants
that.
to be under a dictatorship, bro.
Why is it a dictatorship?
Because there's no elections, there's no nothing. It's just guys that just put themselves in charge and gave themselves titles, and then they start getting full control of the sport. And one person.
But the thing is, they already have government. They have government support,
sanctioning.
Isn't that what makes everything different in the United States from the rest of the world, bro? Is having democracy and being able to have opinions and not one person just
Is USA the only country in the world that has a democracy?
It's one of the ones that we're free and that we can do whatever we want.
What is free mean? Really you can do whatever you want. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, we'll look at some of the dictatorships like in Russia and North Korea, and you think that's the way to go?
So just the two countries, or is it?
I mean, there's a lot.
How many countries are dictatorships and how many countries are free?
So you're advocating?
Are you saying just two?
Is that what you're saying?
What's that?
You're advocating for a dictatorship? That's the way to go?
No, I was just wondering if you thought all the countries in the world were dictatorships except for USA, and you mentioned two, so I was wondering how many you thought. Is Canada a dictatorship?
Well, I mean, let's just get back to the original question, man.
Hey, look, I got a question. I've been arm wrestling a little less than 2 years. If I get a chance to ever go on High Fives great promotion that they're doing, and I'll probably never get a call from Ingen, you know.
Bro, if you're ducking William Palmer, you ain't gonna get a call from Ingen.
Cole, real quick, but could you just rephrase that? What do you mean? Like, what exactly is the question?
That's what it looks like as somebody that just got into arm wrestling not too long ago. Everything that's going on. If I was to ever get an opportunity with High Five at their promotion, I feel like that would push me out of a chance to ever go to East versus West if I ever got that.
Why would that be the case? Why would you think that?
No, that's just kind of what all this
Camille Jablonski
everything everybody's doing.
Listen,
at East versus West.
Listen.
That's what it's
I'll make something.
person.
I'll make something perfectly clear. Okay, and I don't need to know anything other than if you get good enough, you will get paid more.
Yeah,
and it's just it's always a question of which league is paying the most. That's where you know that all the athletes are going to try and get to.
I got a point here. Hey, Devin, tell me if I'm a little close here. Now, I'm not no rocket scientist or anything, but I would think if you're a young and up and comer and East versus West and can put you under contract, meaning they're going to be getting you publicity. They're going to
hold on, Nanya, hold on, buddy. Wait a second.
What?
Did you just say you're an up and coming puller?
No, I didn't say I
and
am.
And an up and coming puller and East versus West put you under contract?
No. I was speaking hypothetically in the third person. Say I was saying the difference in contracts. If you're an up and coming puller, meaning a rookie, a greenhorn, someone that signed to East versus West, they're going to be doing you justice. You're going to be getting popular through them. They don't want you going to some other promotion for the work they put into you. Rather, if you're someone that's already got a following, if you have a contract with them, you go to another promotion to arm wrestle, you're already established. If anything, you're going to be bringing attention to East versus West with who you have a contract with. So back to what you said is contracts are different. So yeah, if you're someone new and they're helping you out, your contract is going to be totally different than Devin's contract or fucking Travis's, etc.
I mean, I understand how Devin. If you're just killing it and you're the best, I mean, nobody's going to stop you from any promotion like Devin. You know, he can go anywhere he wants, really, if he wanted to.
I think that brings up actually a really good point, because we were asked actually not that long ago, like, would you guys ever implement contracts? And obviously, because of everything that's going on, like the answer is, of course, yes. But I think it's it would just be a stipulation of kind of what you said is like, or someone had just said, it's like, where is home? And then always allow those athletes to go everywhere, because then they represent you, right? Places. Yeah.
Well, let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
You see, I see which way you're going. Okay. And I think I see what you're trying to do. And I think there's like a friction point.
Okay.
See, like, knuckles up. You guys are doing great. Everybody knows you're doing great. There's an issue right now, there's an issue, some kind of contract issue between you and some of the pullers.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you just work on that? Are you talking to Engen?
Oh, no. So, here, I'll say this. Number one, we have done our due diligence. We've talked to, in terms of WAF, we've talked to Simon, we've talked to Murcha. The only person we haven't talked to is Ascend, I believe. And we are trying to get as much clarification on that as possible. And we have multiple times on actually every single event tried to meet their requirements. And unfortunately, it's to no avail. But that's a side issue.
It's WAF. It's WAF that's not letting them compete?
See, that's the very frustrating thing, Devin, is we put this out in the video. For example, let's take this exact match, right? Is Georgie Svekov and Cody Merritt were supposed to pull on Knuckles Up 5 January 25th on the left.
Yep.
We had reached out to Georgie first, way back in June, and he said he was only contracted on the right, so his left was open. So on July 5th, it was all set and good to go between him and Cody. Then we got a phone call from Cody about a week and a half ago stating that people from East versus West, and I just won't name who, just because out of respect, told him that he is not allowed, Georgie would not be allowed to pull because he is contracted at East versus West. So we said, you know what, Cody, no problem. Cody, first of all, by the way, is amazing. He's a great guy. So we said, let's call Georgie. So we called Georgie, and Georgie said to a T, and I have it recorded, even though I didn't do that. He said, Ascend threatened him and his club that if he were to compete at any Knuckles Up event, he would be banned from WAF. And I said, wait, hold on. What do you mean? If we have refs that are like completely unbiased, if we have no banned athletes from the WAF or WADA list, can you still compete? And the answer was no. So when you ask, is it Engen or WAF or is it what? We don't know, because it's like we got two different answers, and that's what we had said is like we would love to have a conversation with Engen.
Yeah, that's
We would
weird
love
to me. See, if it was Engen and there was a contract, I would understand.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
if there was a contract between Georgie and Engen that just somehow got miscommunicated,
Yeah.
that to me makes sense. Having not letting WAF guys pull because Judita is the referee or whatever it is,
Yeah,
it's just come on, man. Like
I know, that's what's so frustrating.
that's crazy. That's
You've been
crazy.
with Judith for what, 30 years, 25 years? She's a
Okay,
phenomenal.
but here's the thing. I'll tell you something else though. It's part of something, like I said at the beginning of the show, in my opinion, it's part of something much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have been around a long time. It's WAF has been building for decades upon decades and upon decades. And say whatever you want about the way they're running it or the leadership or whatever, it's still a lot of work has been done.
Yeah.
A lot. And to throw that away, oh my God. So I understand that the fight for them between IFA and WAF is totally bitter, and it's spilling out in ways that, all of us don't really want, because we want to see these guys pull and we want to see them compete, and it's just messy and it just seems silly to us.
Yeah. I don't mean to interrupt you. I think it's just, I think it's more of the rules for me, but the rules for thee, but not for me type thing. And that's what seems to be frustrating. Right? I actually talked about this with Paul Lynn when he had hopped on. I was like, oh shit, maybe we can hop on and talk to Paul, because Paul was at our practice not that long ago. And we had said to Paul, you said, Paul, like I had mentioned, if there's like an amateur thing with WAF and let's say it's IFA2 or whatever, right? If that's like the amateurs and then there's professionals, right? Because I understand they're trying to make it to the Olympics, right? And WADA is involved. I basically said, like, look, let's be honest and real. People like Barry Bonds, they want to see home runs. I think people should do whatever they want with their body. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. So the reason why I say that is Levon is the Chernobyl of the sport. Okay. I love the guy. He's fucking amazing. Right. How is it that East vs. West is a WAF sanctioned event and athletes that could potentially,
if I understand,
right? Yeah.
The way I would explain it that would make sense to me is there is an obvious affiliation between East versus West and WAF, right? Obvious. Engen is the coach of the Turkish team under WAF. He has strong WAF roots. Of course, he's going to be partnering with WAF. And whether he's right or wrong, you can argue about.
Yeah.
I think he's right, but it doesn't matter. He's with WAF, so obviously there's an affiliation between East versus West. And just imagine as arm wrestling having a amateur side and a professional side. The amateur side is viewed as WAF.
Yeah.
And the professional side is viewed as East versus West.
Yeah, like that to me, honestly, would be beautiful, right? It's
I think that's what it is.
But I don't. That's where I disagree, because that's
why.
Because of the like when we get a list and saying that these people are banned and this, that, whatever, or that athletes that would be banned if they were to compete at WAF are able to compete at East versus West.
I don't think there's any problem with anybody competing at WAF and East versus West.
Well, exactly, because they're affiliated,
right?
So I'm saying, what I'm getting at is it just needs to make sense. If they're saying that athletes need to be clean per se, and they have to pass WADA testing and all that stuff. Because Chris, correct me if I'm wrong here. Help me out here. Sorry, Devin. Chris is just silent. He's just amazing. But with the ruling that they just made, can you explain that one? What can you hear, Chris? By the way,
no.
Okay, here, Chris, use it.
Somebody's making feedback. Can you just mute them for a minute, Brian?
Essentially, in this most recent,
I'm not sure who it is.
I think it's Paul.
Covered a policy that essentially that any international
Thanks,
event
Paul.
that has international athletes has to get sanctioned by WAF for those WAF athletes to be able to compete.
And that's in what event?
Any international event.
Any event that
So if you belong to WAF, if you pull in WAF, if you medal in WAF,
Correct.
you must get agreement from WAF to pull anywhere?
Correct.
That's their new
Oh
rule.
my God. I
That
didn't
is-
know that. But listen,
That's
that
the
shit would
rule.
never fly in Canada because nobody's
Right.
getting paid. That would only fly in countries where they're getting paid.
Exactly, but I guess that's the point. Is like, how can you hold that? Like, it's just that they just passed at their most recent Worlds, right?
Yeah.
So once we heard that, we were like, oh, okay, well that changes the whole game because now anything that is a WAF regulated event needs to get approval from WAF, and WAF and WADA work together. Therefore, most of these events wouldn't be able to take place.
Oh, I see. So you're saying, how does WAF approve East versus West?
Yes, and I don't. By the way, let me say once very clearly, I am all for Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Listen, nothing's perfect, I'd say.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect. Okay. There's going to be some gray area in there, but I think that we generally understand East versus West is clearly professional.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
WAF is clearly amateur. And guess what? There's some guys who passed the test in WAF, and guess what? They should fail. And there's guys guys who are competing in East versus West who are dipping back down in a maybe.
Yeah.
So it's not perfect, but I think that's the understanding. And you know what? All those people should be caught and burned at the stake, as far as I'm concerned.
Fucking stake.
I couldn't imagine being a guy in one of them countries that couldn't go anywhere and arm wrestle if they're not approved by their government, bro.
Well, I mean, that's their culture, though, right? We can't sit there and tell other countries how to run their shit. But what we can do,
I just couldn't imagine being trapped like that.
Yeah, but what we can do is understand that it won't play here. Devin's saying it won't play in Canada. So the problem is that WAF is holding this over their heads. So like you got you got somebody that we want to pull here that's from a country that is sanctioned under WAF and that is under WAF control with their government, et cetera, et cetera. We can't have that here because that person here because WAF is holding over their head saying if you pull in America at this event, you and in Georgie's case, entire team will be banned from WAF.
It's a giant check valve.
This is what I would do, guys.
In case, Devin, you can't see, Paul Cruz just joined and Mikey Oliva.
Oh, hey, everybody.
What's up?
Hey, Mike, are you in Toronto tonight?
What's happening?
No. Sarah went solo on this one. Down back home.
I heard. I think her and Jody are getting together tonight.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What's up, Devin?
Anyways, do you want to know my super bad idea?
Oh, super bad? I love it.
So everybody just decides that everyone is forgiven and IFA and WAF, IFA's gone and WAF takes over. Not gonna happen.
I would just like to state for the record once again that Knuckles Up is not affiliated with any organization. We are strictly a arm wrestling promotion putting on amazing super matches for athletes. Thank you.